Welcome to the final day 7 of our 5-day Amazon Income Accelerator workshop. Yeah, things went so awesome last week. We decided to do a couple of extra days. We had a Q&A day on Saturday. And today we are having a co-working session. We're actually going to get into some ways, not just to give you information, but to actually help move your Amazon business forward. Planning out your next Amazon sourcing session, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do what, all those kind of things to help you plan out your next sourcing session so that when you go find inventory, that you're able to have the best time possible, maximize that time, get the kind of results that you are looking for. And so, again, if you have not downloaded it yet, fulltimefba.com/download for the worksheet we're going to be working through today. I'll be leading us through this and asking you questions. And there'll be time of awkward silence during this training, during this co-working session, where your job is to fill out what we're telling you to fill out on this worksheet. And this is kind of a little bit of a taste of what some of our coaching sessions are like. When we come together with our coaching sessions, we can go through these type of options, worksheets, workbooks, and really plan out what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. It's going to be a little bit different than this. Right now, you're only able to really hang out with us and talk with us in the chat. With the co-working session, if you want to come on video, you can come on video. If you want to come on audio, you can come on audio, and we can have conversations and more back and forth. Right now, it's still like a webinar, and so you'll be able to still hear from me and interact with us in the chat. But if you'd rather have like conversations, then you definitely want to be involved in our full-time FBA coaching program, where we meet together every other week, growing our Amazon business, taking the things that we're learning, applying it, dissecting it, what went right, what went wrong. Let's share some wins. Let's overcome some struggles together. And you can do that right now. In fact, a reminder, the coaching program, things are going to be changing very soon in the fact that the bonus, the pay in full bonus, is disappearing at midnight tonight. The price to enroll is most likely going to be going up soon. So today is the last time that you are guaranteed the lower price that it is right now. In the future, the price might be going up, and so we want to make sure that everyone's aware of that possibility. And so if you want to get in the coaching program at the current price, fulltimefba.com/coaching, and sign up before midnight tonight, Monday, April 29th. Yes, this is actually live. I've got my calendar here with my dad joke of the day, which is, how many ears does Captain Kirk have? He has his left ear, right ear, and the final front ear. So that's the dad joke of the day. I just had to share that with you. Okay, so
Even
let's
before
get
you
into...
get any further,
What's that?
before you get any further,
Yes.
is there still time for people to schedule a connect call if they want to do that?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes. You can schedule a 10-minute connect call. You can go to fulltimefba.com/connect, and we can have a call and you can ask me your questions on the coaching program. Here's the thing. If you sign up for a connect call and you're like, but you said the price might be going up at midnight tonight, I will make sure that if you sign up for a connect call and you get your questions answered, you're still able to enroll at the lower price. And so, obviously, if Stephen, I know myself, I need coaching. I can try to learn things on my own, but it's not working. I need help. I need more coaching. I need that accountability. I need just that extra help that is not working on my own. I need coaching. So you can sign up for coaching right now. But if you're like, I still have some questions that I need help understanding about the coaching program, fulltimefba.com/connect, sign up for a connect call at a time that works best for you. And if you want to enroll after that, I will honor the price. So thank you for that question, Rebecca. All right, so let's get into some co-working, all right? Some co-working stuff. I'm going to share my screen. And as always, I will ask Rebecca to let me know if the screen was actually shared. So I'm going full screen with this. All right, Rebecca, do you see our sourcing success session slide.
Yes.
Okay, that's a lot of S's.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good answer. Sure. Um, if there are any typos on this, I have not run it through my proofreader, my wife. So these any type of typos on screen are all my fault. I just want to let you know. But if there's no typos, hey, I did great, right? That's awesome. So the sourcing success session, um, we're gonna plan it out for you. All right. So again, workbook or the worksheet from today, you can go to fulltimefba.com/download to get that and follow along with us. Um, so right at the very beginning, you want to go out and find inventory to sell on Amazon. Uh, maybe you've done it before, maybe you haven't. This is how we set up our sourcing sessions. This is what we do when we decide what we're going to do and find inventory. So the first thing we made to make sure you know and understand is have the basic knowledge of selling on Amazon. The beginner course, Jumpstart Amazon, is our beginner course that shows you everything you need to know to get started with selling on Amazon. You can find out more about it at fulltimefba.com/jumpstart. And the course Jumpstart Amazon is also part of our coaching program. If you sign up with our coaching program, you sign up for 12 months, then either pay in full or payment plan, then you get our 5 top courses. I'm revolting against saying S's. You get 5 of our top courses for selling on Amazon, which includes the Jumpstart Amazon course, as well as 4 other courses. But you want to make sure you have a basic understanding. If you just decide I'm going to go sourcing for inventory tomorrow, there's so many things that could go wrong, so many ways that you can waste your money, so many ways that you can possibly lose money, and you want that basic understanding. So you want to make sure that you go through a beginner course, and Jumpstart Amazon is the course that we put together that has helped thousands of people learn how to sell on Amazon and move their business forward in the right way. So you want to make sure you have that basic understanding. So a beginner course is going to help you do that. Then what you do is you kind of figure out, okay, what kind of sourcing strategy am I going to do? Am I going to do retail arbitrage? Am I going to go local to stores in my area? Do I decide, okay, I'm going to walk into this store and do I just scan everything? Do I scan the clearance stuff? You decide what works best for you. Retail stores, you got pros and cons. There's pros of retail stores and doing sourcing with retail stores is that the condition of the item that you're buying. I don't know if you've ever been to a retail store. Sometimes the items on those shelves, they can get dinged up. You don't want to get an item dinged up. You want something in gift quality condition. When you're selling something, especially if it's a new condition on Amazon, you want it gift quality, something that seems like it's not been hurt or dinged up or any kind of damage. You want things that are perfect as possible. And you can know that for yourself at a retail store. Online stores, sometimes you might get stuff delivered and it's not in very good condition. There's ways around that, but retail stores, for sure the condition of the item. Plus, you kind of get an idea when you're in retail stores of of how many items that you're finding, how successful your sourcing session has been, and there's just chances for you to find stuff that you just kind of come across in a retail store. With online stores, you have to go to the store and pick the category and kind of whittle down from there. It's so organized, which is a plus in some things, but it's also you don't know what you're going to get with the retail store, and that is a huge plus. Being able to go into a retail store and just start scanning everything. And there's some places that you should scan everything, and some places you should not scan everything. Because what if maybe you fix your own cars and you're like, I'm going to start in the automotive section. Well, most likely, most of those items that are in automotive on the Amazon category are not going to be approved for a beginner seller. So you don't want to spend all your time there. Maybe finding another category like outdoors, camping, home and kitchen, toys, things like that. Anyway, retail stores can be really good. The great thing about a retail store is if it's in a chain store, if you find some stuff at one, I'll use Walmart for example. If you find stuff at one Walmart, you can go to another Walmart, that's in another part of town, and be able to know ahead of time. Okay, this stuff was great for a certain. I wish I could have bought more, so I can go to Walmart, you know, couple exits down the road or whatever, and be able to find stuff there as well. So, there's different types of stores. There's chain stores that everyone's heard of. There's also retail stores that are either mom and pop stores, or they are just only have a few type of retail stores in town. And you just know these type of stores, you can't get their stuff everywhere. And so maybe there's going to be some things at that store that are not very common, but are going to be common for you because it's where you live. And so there's just so many things with retail stores, positives and negatives. We can get into teaching you more of that in the coaching program, but but think about that strategy. Do you want to go retail, or do you want to go online? Are you like, I do not want to get out of my house. I do not want to talk to people. I don't want people talking to me. I just want to sit in front of my computer and find inventory online. And there's strategies to do that as well. Finding something online where you can, go to a store online. You can look through their sale stuff or their clearance stuff if you want to. But if you're trying to find replens, you can look in their regular priced items. There's other tools that you can use on your computer. Again, we go into this in our course, The Reseller's Guide to Online Arbitrage, also part of our coaching program when you enroll in that, to be able to learn and know how to find stuff online, to be able to find inventory that you're buying online. You can get it delivered to you or delivered to a prep center that will get it ready and send to Amazon for you, and be able to really. One of my favorite thing about online stores is that a retail store, there's only a certain number of items. If you're like, I wish I could buy them all, well, you can only buy what they have in that particular store. But an online store, you'd be like, I want to get 20 of those, but when they're not going to have 20 on the shelf at a retail store on what you're buying. Just an example for you. Online arbitrage, being able to do it from the comfort of your own home. And of course, sometimes there's some downsides with that, because guess what? You're home, and so are all your chores and the things that you're wanting to do, plus other people who actually know you and have a relationship with you, which want your attention. And so sometimes online arbitrage, when done right, can go really well, but when done wrong, there can be a lot of interruptions. And so, again, no matter what you decide to do, retail, online, there's pros and cons. But maybe you're like, I want to do some wholesale sourcing. Well, I do want to let you know wholesale sourcing, it's basically like retail sourcing and online sourcing are very similar. Online arbitrage sourcing or retail sourcing in stores, they're so close. But wholesale sourcing is a whole nother animal, a whole nother set of skills to do. And so we usually tell people start with online or retail sourcing to find inventory, and allow yourself to learn those two strategies, because wholesale is a whole nother animal, whole different type of set of skills, whole different set of mindset to do. So maybe do that a little bit later in the future after you start seeing success with retail and online. But some of you are like, I'm already doing pretty decent with retail and online. I'm ready for some wholesale. Okay, well then there's some wholesale strategies that we can help you with in finding and landing wholesale accounts there as well. So wholesale is pretty awesome. I mean, you're getting it at some of the cheapest prices possible. You can go almost as deep as you want to go on purchasing inventory in multiples. And a lot of times, and there's plenty of replens that you can find in wholesale that you can continually buy again and again. I mean, there's replens in retail and online too, but wholesale also, where that you can buy again and again and sell again and again. So there's wholesale sourcing. Or maybe you're like, Steven, I barely have $2 put together. I need to get something super cheap to be able to ramp up my finances where I'm finally ready to do retail or online or wholesale sourcing. Maybe garage sales and thrift stores are where you need to focus your time and energy on first, so you can start to save up and have more capital to source higher priced items in regular stores, online stores, and wholesale. So those are usually the methods and strategies that we first look at. So your question, choose your sourcing method. Number one on your worksheet, fulltimefba.com/download. Which one of these stands out to you the most as what you want to do first? Which one is the top one? Which one is the one that's the most realistic? Which is the one that's most likely you're going to follow through with? Now, I totally understand. Yeah, I want to do all four. That's awesome. We're planning a successful sourcing session. We're going to plan a 2-hour sourcing session coming up soon. All 2 hours need to be focused on just one method. So, which one stands out to you of those four? Which one is the one that's going to help you first? And write that down. Your sourcing method. If you want to make a list of all four of them and rank them, and you can do that too in your notes. But which is the number one? Which is the one we're going to follow through with the rest of this worksheet on when it comes to sourcing? Going retail, locally, going online on your computer, reaching out to wholesale brands directly to them, or taking advantage of local thrift stores and garage sales. What are some places that you can go to find inventory? Which one of these is the first one? All right. So again, retail arbitrage. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, so what I want you to do, and after you choose your sourcing method, I want you to not just do that, but like, where exactly are you going to go? So with retail arbitrage, if you chose retail arbitrage, I want you to list out at least 5 retail stores near you. What are 5 retail stores near you? We're talking Walgreens, we're talking Kohl's, we're talking Target, Walgreens. I did say that already. There's Rite Aid, there's all sorts of different types of stores. Dollar General for some people. I mean, what's a retail store that's out there that is close by you? I want you to write 5 of them down. And bonus points if they're all in the same shopping center. You go to one shopping center, you just park once, and there's like 3 or 4 retail stores all close by. That's a convenience. That's a time saving factor that you can think of. That's for retail stores. So listing 5 stores near you, I want you to write those down on the sheet of paper. And same thing with online arbitrage. If you're like, I'm going online, what are some online stores that you can look at? What are some online stores that you can start looking for inventory? Think through the stores that you know of. Stores that you already shop at. Maybe that's a place where you can start. Or maybe you can decide, maybe I want to go find something, because if I'm thinking of a retail store, most likely other people, if I'm thinking of an online store to get inventory, maybe there's other people also thinking of the exact same one. But maybe there's online stores out there that not a lot of people buy stuff to sell on Amazon. And so you're like, I like camping. I'm going to look up a camping store, online camping store. And you'll start to say, oh, and you might even be like, oh, yeah, I know that brand, or I know that type of store. I just didn't think about it earlier. And so you find all these camping stores online, or whatever it is, a toy store, baby store, home decor store, just all sorts of, whatever it is that really interests you and what you like. 5 online stores. If you chose online arbitrage, think through 5 online stores that you can go out to. All right. If you are wholesale, I'm going to give you a very quick crash course on doing some wholesale sourcing. All right. One of the things that we like to do is find stuff online that's already selling really well on Amazon. And I want to give you this link, fulltimefba.com/bestsellers. I will have it on screen again later, but fulltimefba.com/bestsellers will take you to this page. I could give you amazon.com/best-sellers /DGB ref equals a, all this crazy huge link, but fulltimefba.com/bestsellers will take you to the Amazon bestseller page. And then you can start and look, it gives you the top bestsellers. Now, most likely, bestsellers in at the very top are going to be brands that you've heard of before, and brands that are most likely not going to sell their inventory to a third party person like you or me that is not that we don't have a huge nationwide chain of stores. We have an Amazon online store. So most likely they're not going to let you sell their stuff. But we can niche down and take a look at the bestsellers page. And so you can start and you can scroll down. And oh, the bestsellers in home and kitchen. I want to see more. The bestsellers in clothing, shoes, and jewelry. I want to see more. Uh, Beauty and personal care, automotive, electronics, and you can continue to scroll. And on the right side of the page, or the excuse me, left side of the page, there are different categories that you can look at to find items to sell on Amazon. I'm gonna go check out pet supplies. So I look at Amazon pet supplies. I'm gonna go even further down to dogs. All right. There's dogs. Oh, hey, let's look at dog toys. All right. And the lower you niche down, there's an old saying, the riches are in the niches. And so when you find stuff to that is niched down, that is very focused down, again, even at the top at these niches, they're not going to be. What kind of toys? How about some chew toys? All right. So there's some chew toys, and you can just kind of scroll down and start to look at and see if you can find some toys for dogs that look interesting to you, that are from a brand that you've never heard of. If you've heard of a brand, most likely it's not going to be a brand that will allow you to sell their inventory on Amazon. Will they? Sometimes, but most likely it's the brands you've never heard of. The brands that you've never heard of that are going to be the ones that allow you to sell their stuff. So you can scroll through and look at them and and continue to the next page. And so, hey, dog toys for aggressive chewers. All right, that's kind of disgusting looking. Okay, and then decide, okay, the brand is Debach. Okay, I'm gonna go to Google. I'm going to search Debach, contact information, and reach out to that brand. And so that's just a quick little walkthrough when you're looking for stuff with wholesale, finding stuff that's already on Amazon, because we want to find where items are already selling, have consistent pricing, and have consistent sales. And so we find those items on Amazon and we can reach out to the brand directly. Now, again, wholesale sourcing is it's very, it's like I said before, it's a whole nother animal. And so, but this is just kind of like a first step to help you. But you can go to fulltimefba.com/bestsellers. And right now, in this first section, if you decided you want to do wholesale, list at least 5 items, 5 brands. Now, and write those things down to do some further research. And of course, if you are someone who is like, you know what, I want to do garage sales and thrift stores, you can't Google garage sales, but you can Google thrift stores. So take the time right now. Some of you have already finished this because you're an overachiever, and good for you. But some of you have not done this yet. I'm gonna stay quiet, which is gonna be hard for me on these videos and webinars. I'm gonna stay quiet for you to fill this out. List at least 5 of something: a store, a website, a brand, a thrift store. 5 of those with that strategy. So choose your sourcing method, choose your stores, and I'm going to be quiet for just a moment, but I'll be back soon. Write those down. You're doing great. I'll give you another few seconds to finish writing up these stores or brands. Remember, if you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat or the questions section. All right. All right, pencils down. Just kidding. I've just always wanted to say that. Um, uh, you can keep writing, you can keep doing your research and stuff, but we're going to move forward with the next section of our worksheet that we're filling out together. Again, if you should join us late, fultonfba.com/download to get the worksheet that we are working through. Once you've decided which method, now you've got this list of 5 stores for you to go do some sourcing at. The next thing we're going to be talking about is put it on the calendar. Seriously, really, get your phone out. Pull the calendar off the wall. Whatever your calendar is, put it on the calendar. If you don't have a calendar, get a calendar. Put it on the calendar. Write on a sheet of paper. After you write it here, if you don't have a calendar, get on a sheet of paper. Put it on your fridge. Put it on your calendar. A 2-hour time that you can go sourcing, that you can go to a retail store, that you can dedicate to finding stuff online, that you could continue the process of getting wholesale leads based off of the fultonfba.com/bestsellers list on Amazon, and getting the Googling the brand names and their contact information and trying to reach out to brands to ask them. And when you do reach out to a brand, you can say, my name is, whatever your name is, and I have an online store and we'd love to carry your products in our online store. Can you please let us know your product list and pricing, and if there are any minimum orders? Thank you very much. And of course, you'll get information. They'll ask and stuff. And again, there's more training when it comes to taking the next steps with wholesale, but at least you're getting started with that. And we can take things further in our coaching program and help you do things what you need to do. But plan a 2-hour sourcing session, a 2-hour time where the entire time is committed to sourcing inventory. Now, again, you want to make sure that you have a basic understanding of selling on Amazon and you've got your Amazon account. Having those two things are very important. So put it on the calendar. 2 hours at a retail store, or 2 hours in front of your computer. That is not like 2 hours where 30 minutes was folding laundry or moving the laundry from the wash to the dry. You want 2 hours of dedicated, focused time to maximize that time. And if you're doing retail, or if you're doing wholesale research, 2 hours where you can do that. Or garage sale thrift stores, 2 hours where you are focused on garage selling and thrift stores. Put it on the calendar, seriously. In fact, I want to know in the comments. We're not going to share each other's store leads. We're not going to share each other's brands that we're reaching out to, but you can put in the comments. Put in the comments the time and date when you're going to take care of this, when you're actually going to do it. There's an old saying: if it doesn't get scheduled, it's not going to get done. Now it's not like 100%. If you don't ever schedule something, nothing's ever going to happen. No, but if you put it on the schedule, it's more likely to get accomplished. So when are you scheduling things? When are you going and taking what you need to do? Like I see a Ciela already has May 1st, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Awesome. I love that. You already have that. Um, in fact, Ciela is is someone who joined our coaching program, and I can already tell she's going to be successful because she is following through with the directions and instructions, and she's going to have a really good first sourcing trip. Now, are you gonna like load up a cart full of stuff? That might not happen the first time, but at least you are moving forward in what you need to do and you are getting the ball rolling. Again, if this is your first time or if this is, just your next time, we're going to be more successful because of the things that you're doing right now than later, than doing it later. We have it scheduled. And I appreciate those who let us know in the comments when you're going to do it. So the next steps, it's your 2-hour sourcing session. It's on the calendar. Put it in big ink on the calendar. Set up a reminder on your calendar. Make sure you don't forget it. All right. Number 3. Oh yeah, I already said find 2 hours of focus time. 2 hours at a retail store, online store, or wholesale. Put it on the calendar sometime soon. Not like I'm going to do it on the calendar sometime in the fall. It's not soon enough. We're going to need sooner than that. So now it's time to make a plan. Number 3, make a plan. Plan out what you need between now and the date that you set your sourcing session. What do you need during that time? Do you need, your phone charged all the way? Do you need to have the apps downloaded that you want to use? We're gonna start brainstorming and we're gonna think through all of the things that you need. Do I need to have my water bottle filled up with ice cold water? You need your Stanley cup filled with the water that you need to keep hydrated? Do I need to have my lunch packed because I don't want to stop someplace and buy a lunch? What are the things that you need? So plan out what you're going to be doing during your 2 hours. You don't want your 2-hour time period to start and then you're like, oh, I need to download this app first. Or I need to whatever first. You want to maximize your 2-hour time period by having everything taken care of. So right now on your paper, write down what you need. What do you need? What supplies do you need? What do you need ready to go? Oh, sorry. What supplies do you need? What do you need ready to go? What are the things that you need to make sure that your sourcing session is 100% focused on sourcing? Do you need someone to watch the kids? Whether it's a babysitter that comes and watches the kids for you to go do retail arbitrage, or a brand new movie for the kids to watch in the next room while you're on your laptop doing some sourcing, or do the kids need to be in bed and sleeping? It's nap time. What do you need to do? Either supplies that you need with you or what you need set up so that your 2 hours can be maximized with all sourcing. So write that down. Think of it as like working out. Part of working out, if you're like doing some weight training, it's important to stretch. What are the stretching aspects of sourcing do you need so that you can maximize your actual workout and have things go smoothly so you don't, because if you just show up at the gym and you start working out with weights without stretching first, without being ready, you're going to cause some damage. And so you don't want to do that. Think of it the same way with your sourcing. What are the things that you need taken care of ahead of time so that you can maximize your sourcing? So think through that. Start work.
Hey, Stephen.
Yes.
Yeah, along those lines too, you want to make sure that you've stretched ahead of time, but that time that you spend stretching doesn't count towards the exercise time.
Right.
You're trying to do 30 minutes of cardio, you don't count your 5 minutes of stretching beforehand as part of that. So
Right.
that's the same with, you want to make sure you're doing all these other things to be prepared before your 2 hour sourcing so that you don't spend 15 minutes trying to search for passwords or download something that's going to take out of your 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if you're going to go to um, whateverstore.com, go ahead and go to that store and sign up for an account. Have all your information in it so that, again, you don't wait till you're checking out to fill out all the information and enter in your go ahead and make sure, go ahead and set up an account with that store with all that information ahead of time. Do as much as you can now. What do you need to plan now? Number three, what do you need to plan now so that by the time you are ready to source, 100% of your 2 hour sourcing time is spent sourcing for inventory. So let's write those things down. You need to plan out your driving route. You need to plan what, just think through everything. I keep thinking of other things to talk about. I need to be quiet, let you brainstorm what you need to do before you source so you can do it.
I just want to jump in and say too that for some people, if you're just getting started, there may be some skills still that you need. You want to get out there and get started, have your 2 hours as soon as possible. But what videos do you need to watch before you go? What tutorials do you need to work through on anything like Keepa or how to use Scoutify, anything like that? That might be included on that. What do you need to do before sourcing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Few more seconds, and we'll keep going. All right, one thing I do want to say before we get to the very next step is that what supplies do you need? What do you need ready to go? What do you need taken care of now before you go sourcing? Can sometimes be like, oh, I need to get my tax certificate. I need to do this. I need to learn this strategy or whatever. Some of the things that you are writing down when it comes to supplies, when it comes to skills you need, some of them are good to make sure that you have set up first before you're sourcing. Others are going to be less important to focus on to make sure you have set up with your sourcing. Like if you're like, I I don't have a full battery charge for my phone, so I I I'm just not gonna go sourcing at all. Or you might be like, I ended up not being able to get some childcare. I'm just not gonna go at all. Yes, there's ways to optimize it, and we want to help you optimize it, but there's also things that could stand in your way of following through that are going to try to tempt you to delay it, to put it off, to procrastinate. And our minds are very tricky with us sometimes. Um, like the idea, yes, it would be great if you already had your sales tax certificate in hand so that you can buy at a local store and be able to purchase items tax free for resale purposes. But that's that's a very small little ding. Well, the most important thing is for you to get out there and take action. Now, if you're like, I've never sourced before, or I don't even understand how it works or how to use a sourcing app. Okay, well, that's something that's very important. You definitely need to know how to do and how to take advantage of that and learn that. So just think to yourself, is what I'm adding to my list of things that I need to get done, are they going to stop me from sourcing, or are they not going to stop me from sourcing? And decide for yourself, is this something, am I just really procrastinating, or is this something worth pausing my progress on? And your mind's going to try to convince you that you need to pause your progress, but sometimes it might just be something that you just need to, okay, this sourcing trip I'm going to pay taxes, the next one I'll have my tax certificate, and I can, I can save on paying sales tax on the next one. Try to think if it's something that's really going to hurt you. If you don't have, then definitely don't move forward unless you have it. But if it's something that's just going to ding, slow you down a little bit, don't let that stop you from moving forward. We convince ourselves way too often to not work because we're the boss and we can decide whether or not we work. And so overcome that, follow through, get some critical thinking skills to help you decide what to do. If you need help and you need, you want to check with others and think, is this something I should pause things for to take care of first, or is this something to work through? That's another reason why our coaching program is so helpful. You get myself, if it's a one-on-one coaching, if it's a group coaching, myself and others in our group coaching session to help you make those decisions to move forward. Because the last thing that we're going to be doing is number 4, execute your plan. You have a plan, where you're going to go, when you're going to go, what you're going to do. You've taken care of all the things that you need to take care of so you can go source. So execute the plan before your sourcing time. Follow through with as many things as you can, making sure your battery's charged, making sure you're hydrated with the water, making sure you're signed up for an account on that web store, going through and getting your sales tax certificate if necessary. If you don't get it in time, that's fine. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be a huge deal breaker for your sourcing trip, so that when your time comes, you follow through and execute and go through and source for profitable inventory. And you can do that. And this process is going to help you out. And the cool thing after that is that next time you need to do a sourcing, you can go through this type of thing too and be like, okay, did I go to all 5 of the stores? Maybe I only went to one store because I spent 2 hours there and it ended up being really good. Next time I can go to the other store. Or maybe I like that store so much, I'm going to go to all of those stores in my town, as many of them as they have uh, a, a franchise store set up. And so go through that. But again, as always, don't forget, put it on your calendar every time. There's so many times we can convince ourselves to do it later. We don't want you to do it later. We want you to do it as soon as possible, as long as you've got the necessary skills, the foundational information set up, and you can move on from there. So execute your plan so that you can move your business forward. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. We're going to go to questions. If you got any questions about this, Rebecca, if you have anything else that you want to share on this topic of going out and planning your successful sourcing session, it's hard to say that, but I'll get used to it. Successful sourcing session.
I mean, other than it's hard to say that, yeah. That is the thing that I wanted to share. No, I just think that this is really important to think through these things. And this is something that you will find that you will do over and over again in the future as you're planning out your sourcing sessions, but it won't take, we're spending like an hour doing this. It won't take you an hour to work through this. This should get to where it only takes you like 5 minutes
Right.
to sit down and think through these things. But if you do it on a regular basis, if you're doing this every week, planning out 2 hours on this day, 4 hours on that day. Plan out your sourcing sessions. You will have your time scheduled out, and you will find that it will really help you to maximize your time sourcing and also probably get in some more sourcing hours than you were before you started doing this. So this isn't just for newbies. This is for anybody who is just wanting some structure to their sourcing, who is wanting to level up their sourcing. I mean, I was filling out my worksheet as we were going along and looking at my calendar and planning out. So, like, I have a session planned for tomorrow afternoon now, and I was thinking through, okay, what are the OA stores, since that's what I'm primarily doing right now. I'm doing like my wholesale replens and then looking for new OA inventory. So what are the OA stores that I've been meaning to look at that I just haven't gotten around to? And so this type of planning session is really helpful for that. And I'm not a newbie, but I still benefit from this. So we're hopeful that this will be something that we can work on together moving forward in our own business and with our coaching clients.
Yeah, and it's also, some people are like, I don't have like a lot of places to go to find inventory yet, and I don't know what's going to be good, what's going to be. You're going to find out. You're going to be able to find out by going and taking action. Like Rebecca was talking about, we've been selling on Amazon for over 10 years, and there are times where we get into, I mean, I guess the best way to say it is a rut, because
Yeah.
we are not seeing things from new perspective, from a new point of view, and we miss out on some things. And every once in a while, it's like, oh yeah, I totally need to do this, and like I've been encouraged to do some more, find some more stores that I've never heard of before, because again, a lot of times you're like, oh, I've got this checklist of 10 places that I always go to online to find inventory, and if I don't find it, I'm done for the day. Well, there's more than 10 web stores out there, and you can find them. Some of them will be great, some of them are not going to be good at all, but the more places you go, the more places you seek, the more things you're going to find. And when you start layering that on top of each other, it just brings that kind of well-rounded type of Amazon business with different inventory items that can help bring you profits. And recognize also, if you're going to be going to a new store, it might take you longer to find replens in there, but finding one-offs it's still possible. You can still find items that you're able to just buy one or two of and not go super deep on, and see how well it goes. Do test orders. I'm going to buy two of every item that I think is going to be profitable, and I might buy more, but I'm like, no, we're going to test things out first, because one of the worst feelings as a reseller is spending money on stuff and going too deep, buying way too many products, and it not selling. And now you've got that capital tied up in inventory that's not, I thought it was going to sell, and it ended up not selling. So just having this kind of perspective. So again, people who are new, you're learning kind of the thought process when it comes to planning out our successful sourcing sessions. And people who are regulars on Amazon, sell consistently, maybe this will help get you out of a rut, that will help you find new places. And we can continue to help you with multiple things like that with our coaching program, that's going to show you all of the things that you're not doing and help you walk you through those in your specific type of situation. Maybe you're like,
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, sometimes we get on autopilot. That's what I have found, is that for us, those times when I see, oh, our sales are starting to kind of plateau or even dip a little bit, and it's like, well, why is that? And you start to analyze, and sometimes there's various reasons for that. But one of the things that I have found over time, over years of doing this, is there are times when my sourcing gets on autopilot, and I'm not trying to think of new stores to source at. I'm not trying to think of new categories to source in. And so just having a little bit of a planning session to brainstorm, okay, what have I been doing regularly? And how is that helping me? And how do I need to kind of spice it up a little bit? And so just, thinking through some simple questions on a worksheet really can help you to kind of get to the bottom of what's going on here.
Yeah. And so it's good to work through these type of thought processes, and Mark asked the question, if I send in just a few units of an item to test, will I get charged a low inventory fee? Um, and was like, the whole low inventory fee and fees to space out my inventory are confusing. And I was like, I totally get that. I do feel like the low inventory fee is something Amazon is testing out, but it's not communicated very well by Amazon. Um, and I've honestly not really seen any negative impact on my Amazon account because the low inventory aspect of Amazon, they're basically saying you need to send more into Amazon. And I'm like, I want to be in control of my own inventory because algorithms are great when done right, but sometimes Amazon will say, you need to restock this item. I'm like, I've had two in stock and I haven't sold any. So I don't know why I should send in any more at this time. I feel like it's something that Amazon is testing out. I don't feel like it's going to be something that will stick around. Um, and be a long-term type of solution, but Amazon's trying it and we're just kind of in a middle phase right now.
Guinea
uh,
pigs.
right, yeah, we're kind of guinea pigs. Like, in fact, like Amazon charged fees that they said they were going to charge and then like refunded those charges and they're like, just kidding, we're giving you your money back. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Karen has a really good question. Are there any stores that you would suggest to just pass on? I feel like that is one that's pretty subjective for each seller, but I would be interested to hear what your answer is, Stephen.
I mean, if you're not approved to sell an automotive, then I might not go to an automotive store. But not every item at a automotive store is going to be in the automotive section at in Amazon. And so it's I usually don't think, like, I would think, for me personally as an Amazon seller, I don't like sourcing at stores that are basically called second chance stores. Second chance stores are stores like TJ Maxx, Ross, um, those type of stores where they are purchasing liquidation lots from more bigger, well-rounded stores that are basically trying to get rid of their excess inventory. So they liquidate them out to TJ Maxx and Ross and Home Goods and things and stores like that.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday Morning was one of
RIP
those
Tuesday
type of
morning.
stores. Um, they're liquidating out. And when you purchase from a TJ Maxx, the whole list of stores that we just talked about, on the receipt, there's no UPC. There's only a code that that store knows and understands. But I want there to almost always be a UPC on the store receipt that will show that I purchased from that store that specific item. If you purchase from, like I said, Tuesday Morning in the past, because it's closed down now, TJ Maxx, Ross, those type of stores, their receipts have a code on it that only that store knows, not the UPC. So I always want the UPC on the, if I ever get a counterfeit claim, if I ever have a lost item that Amazon wants a proof that I purchased it, giving them a TJ Maxx receipt that says home goods and some weird 6-digit code is not going to prove that I purchased that specific item from. So I usually avoid from there, even though sometimes the resale values are good and I've purchased from them in the past. It's just gotten to the point where I don't purchase from those stores these days.
Yeah, there are ways of working around that, but it requires like a lot of photo documentation with your receipts, with the code and the UPC on the item, and it's pretty involved. So it's a little bit risky to do that. So yeah, that's not been we haven't been sourcing there for a while.
Yeah, there's
People
a
still
step.
do,
What?
I said people still do source from there, but
Right. Yeah. It's just not worth it for us to take pictures of the the item and the sticker and the receipts showing that those match up as proof, because then trying to find it if I need to, it's just not worth it for us. But there's some people who decide to do it. So my answer, those second chance stores are what places we would avoid.
yeah. And if you've had, like, I would say there's stores that in the past that we pass on because we just haven't had any luck there. And again, that's a place that it's worth it to kind of go back to every once in a while and see, like, oh, did I not find anything at store XYZ for a while? And so I stopped going there. Well, it's been a year and a half now. Maybe it's worth going in and checking it out again and not just, keeping it forever on your list of stores that you pass on.
Yeah.
Ciela had a really good point that she's learned from Stephen to focus on one method and get good at that instead of flipping around between OA, RA, wholesale. And that's great advice. Get good at one thing first before you move on. And yeah, I agree with that. Find something that you want to specialize in at first, get really good at that. And then when you're making good money and good profits from that sourcing method, then move on to another one. And that's where a lot of people get started with garage sales and thrift stores, but it's not profitable to scale, doing garage sales and thrift stores. It's not possible really to scale to the same amount of profits and same amount of sales as it would be if you took your success in that sourcing strategy and then added it to another one. So yeah, that's a really good point. All right, we're at we're past noon now, so unless
Central.
we have noon central. Past 1 if you're on the East Coast, past whatever time in your time zone. So last call for questions for today. And Stephen, any last words about getting signed up for coaching?
Yeah, don't forget that midnight Pacific tonight. The pay in full bonus disappears from those who enroll in our coaching program. Almost every single time we have a workshop like this where we talk about our coaching program, the next time the price goes up. And so you are wanting to enroll in our coaching program at the current price and not have to pay more later, then definitely enroll in the coaching program before midnight tonight. fulltimefba.com/coaching. Now, we do have a little bit of extended love for you if you decide I just have questions. I need to hang out with Stephen for like 10 minutes and ask him a few questions. fulltimefba.com/connect. We have a connect call. I will still extend that the lower price for you for enrolling in coaching program. It's a 12-month long coaching commitment, but it is our goal in that 12 months to get you either making a full-time income or knocking at the door of making a full-time income on Amazon, from starting at the beginning to getting you to where you have enough inventory in stock that you're able to replenish on a consistent basis and make it that full-time income. And so we invite you to join us. My question to you is, how long have you been selling on Amazon, and have you made a full-time income yet? There are many people who have been following me for many, many years. They've heard the strategies that we've talked about with making a full-time income, even making a full-time income with part-time hours. And they're like, I still haven't done it yet. The missing piece might be that coaching, not just the courses, but that connection with me, connection with other coaching students. If you're in the group coaching sessions, that accountability, that, because it's hard. It's hard and it's possible, but there's things that we need to work through. To overcome together, we can do that, and we can find the success that you're looking for in making that full-time income. And then once you start having those replens built up and having more sustainable inventory and the sustainable income, it is a life changer. So fulltimefba.com/coaching, come hang out with us. It's going to be awesome, and you will love it. I mean, you're just going to love it. We have a really great time on our calls.
Yeah, and it's that accountability and also just the ability to problem solve together. Being able to talk to Stephen about what your specific problems are with your business, and then hearing what other people are struggling with and how they're handling it. That type of problem solving is just something that you can't do on your own in the same way that you can deal with somebody else who's a little bit further down the road than you.
Yeah, and I know we've got our full-time FBA Facebook group where you ask questions there, but sometimes I find a nice way to say it. Sometimes the advice given even in our own group is not the best advice. We try to go in there and delete bad advice if we see it in time, but we're not able to see every single thing. But again, if you've been selling on Amazon for a number of years and you're not at that full-time income yet, there's something missing. And the thing missing is the full-time FBA coaching program to give you that well-rounded insight and training and accountability that you need to make that full-time income. So we're going to go ahead and call it a day. I don't see other questions coming in.
I know I'm just kind of chatting out. There's not any new questions either, but Karen says, thanks for the great workshop. Not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow at 11. I feel that too. I feel it too. It's like, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? But you'll continue working on your business and doing great at what you're doing. That's what you'll do tomorrow at 11.
Yep. Yeah. The comments have been very loving and very nice. And thank you. Ciela, Elvis, there's many others. Karen said some good things. So thank you so much for hanging out with us during this extended 5-day workshop that we stuffed into 7 days to hang out with you and grow your Amazon business today and moving forward. So thank you all so much. We'll get the replay uploaded soon, but all the replays are coming down midnight tonight. So be sure, if you want to watch any of the previous replays, fulltimefba.com/replays to watch those, but watch them today because tomorrow they'll be gone.
They're going down tonight or tomorrow night?
Tonight, midnight.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry for the confusion.
Yes. Thank y'all very much. We'll see y'all later. God bless.